You know, Ron, you are just magical. One more. Yeah. So you know why we asked Ron to speak for us. Before I kind of begin my remarks, I want to thank Angela King. You're just so beautiful and wonderful, and my fiance is sitting right there, so I need to be careful how much more I say other than. Thank you, Ron. Yeah. Back in 2001, I was in my second. I'm sorry. I'm Mark Okazaki. I'm the executive director of Neighborhood House. I was kind of like overcome by Ron's comments. Yeah, back in 2001, I was in my second year on the job here at Neighborhood House, and we were planning our first ever breakfast fundraising event. I was 12 years old. Our development director, Ray Lee, he was new, and he was like 5 years old, and it's his birthday today. Ray, happy birthday! Over there, hey, Ray! Ray, you're old enough to drive the car now, but you can't have the keys to my car. So yeah, we were trying to figure out like who we wanted to be the keynote speaker for our first ever breakfast fundraising event, and we were kind of like brainstorming. We had the whiteboard up, and we were throwing names up like Justin Timberlake and former President Jimmy Carter, and we had the Dalai Lama and Gary Payton. That was back when we had a professional basketball team. Oh, yeah, I know. And everyone said, no, they're not good enough. What we really need is somebody who embodies the spirit of Neighborhood House, someone who can speak with confidence and authority and passion about the work of Neighborhood House. And so we ran that through a series of algorithms on our IBM PC, and about a week later, the answer came out, and it was just one name. It was Ron Sims. So, see, I was 12 years old. So thank you, Ron, for all of that inspiration. I love when Ron talks about kind of growing up. And I grew up in a neighborhood in South Seattle, and this was before we didn't have parks within walking distance, and so the streets were our playground. And out in during the summer, all the neighborhood kids would be outside right in front of my parents' house, and we'd play baseball. And one summer, I remember it was my turn to get up to bat, and I'd perfected my stance. It was funny, skinny little kid, funny last name, starts with O. It was my turn up to bat. And the pitch came, I hit that ball so hard, and it was like it went supersonic, had a one-way ticket north to Canada. And I was so proud of this until the wind caught it, pulled it to the left, right towards our neighbor's bathroom window. And if the window had been opened, I'd have scored a triple. It wasn't open. You know what happened. The following summer, back out there on the streets again, playing baseball, hit the ball again, and instead of the neighbor's bathroom window, it was their living room window. And so my parents decided, well, it's time for Mark to invest in a different kind of summer activity. So they did this very wonderful thing. They bought me a clarinet. And they said, here, son, this is fun, this is cool. And I said, yeah, thank you. But the point of that is that, Ron, I had people who cared about me too. They cared a lot about me, and that neighborhood cared a lot about all the kids, which was so important to my life trajectory, and I'm very grateful for having grown up in a really great place. So, Ron, you really sang the praises of Neighborhood House, and thank you so much. We've been very busy since that breakfast 11 years ago, and we've been doing good work. We're very proud of our work. If we were to measure our success in things like the growth of our budget or the new programs that we added or the new buildings that we built, the scorecard would look pretty good, and there'd be a lot that we would be proud of. But here at Neighborhood House, Ron, we're never satisfied with good enough. Not when almost 1 out of 10 of our neighbors here in King County are living in poverty, in one of the wealthiest counties in the nation. The percentages for communities of color living in poverty are even higher. And Ron, what's more alarming is that most of those living in poverty are children. So we can't be satisfied. I want to talk about courage and about taking on tough challenges. Our Board of Trustees, incredible volunteers. Could I ask the Board of Trustees of Neighborhood House to stand for a minute and be recognized? They're here in this room. Yeah. They're willing to make big bets on the big challenges, the big issues in our community. We just completed a strategic plan. It's long and complicated, but at its core, what our board, what we here at Neighborhood House want to do is to have a greater impact on those we serve. So what does that mean? Well, right now we're running a lot of different programs, and they are having a positive effect on children, families, and elders, and their lives are better because of our work. But what our board wants us to do, what they're challenging us to do, and what we want to do, is to put maximum effort into achieving the outcomes that matter the most. All children will be ready for kindergarten. All children will be reading at grade level by 3rd grade. All students will graduate from high school on time, and any student who wants to go to college can go to college, and so on. Thank you. Yeah. So you can see those are very clear, bold statements, but I want you to take a very close look at each of those, and there's one word that kind of stands out within all of those grand statements, and it's the word all. We don't believe that some children should be ready for kindergarten or that some should graduate from high school. We want them all to succeed, Ron, all of them. We've already started with what we are calling our next generation of work in a public housing redevelopment in West Seattle called High Point. A lot of you here have helped us reach one of the most crowning achievements in the recent history with the completion of our High Point Neighborhood Center. Today, our center is bustling with activities and really bursting at the seams, and we're very proud of the work we're doing. Martha Konsgaard was chair of our High Point Capital campaign, and at our 2009 annual breakfast, she led us in a toast to our accomplishments. Her words are emblazoned on the donor wall at High Point. In that dedication, Martha, you challenged us to put into action every day our deepest held beliefs. And for me, and I hope for all of us, one of our deepest held beliefs is that our children will live better lives than ours. There are 1,200 low-income children living in High Point today. We want them all to graduate from high school. We want them all to go on to college. We will not let their zip code determine their destiny. And we're already bringing new resources to the community, doing great work with our many partners like the Seattle Housing Authority, Seattle Public Schools, and building new partnerships. And we're rolling up our sleeves, and we're going to need your help. Yesterday, I asked Sintayu. Sintayu is on our Head Start team. He's the one that collects all the data. And I asked him, how many kids are on the waiting list to get into our Head Start preschool at High Point? And he said 69. He said 69. A few minutes later, I walked back down the hallway. I forgot the number. I didn't write it down. I said, Sintayu, tell me that number again. He says 69. Now, at High Point, we have 2 Head Start classrooms, 20 kids each, that's 40. Some of them always age out, go on to kindergarten. So this year, 24 will go on to kindergarten. That means we've got 24 openings, 69 kids on the waiting list. And I said, Sintayu, is that right? He said, yes, Mark, that's right. He said, but Mark, wait a minute. We have not even started recruitment yet. By the time we're done with recruitment at the end of the summer, there'll be 100 kids on our waiting list, 24 get in. Ron, we cannot leave any of them behind. So we're going to need your help, and in a few minutes, I'm going to ask somebody to come up here to talk about the many ways that you can help us. So this morning is about a celebration, and while there's a lot to celebrate, the Neighborhood House family has also suffered the loss of a very dear friend, Christina Choi. Christina was a recognized leader in the local food community. She ran her own restaurant called Middleton and brought her love of all things local and organic to the dining room table. And she was a longtime supporter of Neighborhood House, catering many of our fundraising events. She really combined her passion for food and the joy of communal meal with friends, family, and she embraced a Neighborhood House. And sadly, she passed away late last year at the age of 34. And so we honor her this morning. We honor the memory of Christina Choi. So we've been blessed to have friends like Christina, and I'm hoping that we have some new friends this morning. I have now the pleasure to introduce one of our many friends, Karen White. Karen, where are you there? Karen? Karen has served as president of our board of trustees. She's served on many boards and committees with a focus on building a strong economy through investments in our local workforce. Apparently, she loves Matt Dillon, and she loves Franz chocolates, and we love you, Karen, very much. So please join me in welcoming Karen White.